And that pride is hateful before man and the Most High. The Most High said, hate a prideful man, that's a poor man that's prideful. In that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. For many great misery, listen to this closely. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter time, in the last days, shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. You know, it's a shame when you're prideful and you even know you're prideful. Everybody else can see the pride, but you don't even know you're prideful. That's a shame, man. You can't cry to the Most High because your pride won't allow you. You can't be under orders because your pride won't allow you. So you should be by yourself. You should be listening to nobody, but have your own place of how you're going to teach and do whatever you do. See, what's sad about that, though, you got to think about this. I said to the Spirit came to me years ago, this. Everybody going to be like you. If everybody be like you, then how you going to do? Maybe you got a chance to look at yourself then. Everybody, like I say, how the leader is, so is his servants. The officers and so forth. So if you a certain way, everybody be like you, then how will they be? Meditate on that. Let that marinate in your mind. Everybody gonna be just like you. When the book is closed, everybody gonna be just like you. Well, the Most High said, look, Hosea 5:15. Hosea 5:15. Most High is telling us this. Hear the word of the Most High. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense. He said, I'm going to go to my place till you acknowledge how you have offended me. How we offended the Most High. And seek my face. Why you got to seek his face? Because he turned his face away from us. He hid his face from us. In their affliction, hear that? In our affliction, they will seek me early. Oh yeah, we ain't quiet yet. In our affliction, you know what he said? Many great miseries gonna be done to those that live in the latter times because of their great pride. So it behooves you to humble yourself before the Most High humble you. Or you gotta humble before him and he don't pay no attention to you. Oh, you think just because you humble yourself, you've been prideful all this time, you're going to humble yourself, then you're going to pay attention. Look, listen. Go to Proverbs, 1st chapter, 24th verse. Because I have called and ye refuse. He's calling you now, telling you. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. And his hand is men that's bringing forth this truth. Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. But ye have said it all. You have said it not, made nothing all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. All this time, all these years, a lot of you been in this truth years, and ain't paid no attention to nothing, because when it comes down to it, you still not spiritual enough to really understand what this is all about. He said, I also will laugh at your calamity. He got a sense of humor. He said, I'm going to laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. You ain't got no fear of the Most High. You believe more in yourself or something else than the Most High. When your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, shoot, most like I said, a tornado, a hurricane, a storm through to wipe out everything we have. Understand this. When distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me. Then you're going to want to start talking about the Most High. Then you're going to want to start talking about a Mashiach El Shai. But I will not answer. Hear what he said? I will not answer. I ain't going to answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, did not choose the fear of the Most High. They hated knowledge. Fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. So you fear him, you're going to make sure that you speak about him. You talk about him. Something. They were none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. You hear what he's saying? This is serious, but people won't take it lightly. Let's go to the Apocrypha now. I done gave you somewhat of a guideline of a lot of what we're going to cover that's going to make sense. When we're going through the Apocrypha, you start looking at we the Israelites. Let me say this too. When you go to the book of Malachi, that's the last prophet in the Bible. We as Israelites are in the Persian and Mede Empire. The Persians and Medes are the superpower of the earth. So now, you turn the page, it's an empty page, blank page. Turn the next page, is Matthew. So you go from the Persian Mede Empire, and this was sad when you think about it. And then you get to Matthew, the first chapter, you're in the Roman Empire. Now what happened to the empire that's between the Persian Mede Empire and the Roman Empire? They didn't even teach you that in school. Most people that have history in school would know that. They would know what empire came after the Persian Mede Empire. Especially in America, without a shadow of a doubt. So we're going to find out what's in between Malachi and Matthew is the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha. And we're going to go to show you without a shadow of a doubt. And when you look at this and think about, they took the Apocrypha out in the 1800s, but it was in all the other Bibles pretty much. King James Bible, all the way before the King James Bible up to the King James Bible, it was always there. It was always there. And they try and say it's not canon, you know. But it is. And we're going to find that out without a shadow of a doubt. Now, first and foremost, the Greek Empire. Because the Greeks took down Persian Mede Empire. You ever heard of Alexander the Greek? The first emperor of the Edomite nation? Now, if you don't know about history, he tell you about his story. You went to his schools, you learned about history. You learned about the first emperor of the Greek Empire was Alexander the Greek. Right? In school. In his curriculum. You learn about that. So let's look at the Apocrypha, and we're going to find out in first book of the Maccabees that this is between, the Apocrypha is between the Old Testament and the New Testament. The books. But this is dealing with what you're missing. They took it out. And when we go through this, you're going to see a lot of reason why they would. Without a shadow of a doubt. Just dealing with the Maccabees. The book of the Maccabees. So the first book of the Maccabees, we're going to start at chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes. Now we're wondering, like I said, Malachi, the last prophet in the Bible, we in the Persian Mede Empire. So now, when you get to Matthew, you in the Roman Empire. What happened to the Greek Empire? Let's look. It happened after the Alexander, son of Philip, who was Alexander the Greek, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes. There go the Persian and Mede Empire. So Alexander smote Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. You hear that? The first over Greece. Alexander the Greek. And made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth. He ruled from 20 years old to 32 years old. In verse 6, verse 5, and after these things, after we had brought under all nations under him, under the Greek Empire, the so-called white man's empire, the so-called European first empire of the world, superpower of the earth. And after these things, from 20 years old to 32 years old, he fell sick and perceived that he should die, knowing he gonna die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, his 4 generals, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So he had his 4 generals, and he parted his kingdom to them while he was alive. You gonna have this part, you have that part, you have that part, you have that part. So Alexander reigned 12 years, like I said, from 20 years old to 32 years old, and then died. And his servants bare rule, everyone in his place. And after his death, listen at this closely, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. So after Alexander the Greek died, his servants, the 4 generals, and their sons after they had died, ruled in his kingdom. And what happened? Many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. You hear that? Evils were multiplied in the earth. When they started to rule, evils were multiplied in the earth. Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root. Came out of the Greeks. A wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Can't get no clearer than that. He reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks, the so-called white man's kingdom, the Europeans' kingdom, the Edomite kingdom. Yep. So there it is in the Bible. That's clear. I can see why they would take it out. It says evils multiplied in the earth when they came into power. That's what the Bible's saying. But they say that's not canon, right? We don't need to go into all the evils that they were doing, right? We're going to find out. It's in the Apocrypha. It's right there. It's right there, y'all. Verse 12. So it say evils multiplied in the earth when the Greeks came into power. First European kingdom, the Greeks. This is between Malachi and Matthew. They took this out. Verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men. Hear that? They went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, these Edomites, these Europeans. So for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Man, pleased them well. While the Most High said, look, go to Jeremiah 3:22. Will say, return ye backsliding children, and I will heal you, and I'll heal your backslidings. Behold, we come unto thee, thou art the Most High, our power. Truly, in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly, in the Most High, our power is the salvation of Israel. The shame hath devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. We lie down in our shame, and our confusion covereth us. You see what this says? In those days, in 1 Maccabees 1:11, in those days went there out Israel wicked men, went out of Israel wicked men, Salaki, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. What did Most High tell us in Jeremiah 10:2? Learn not the way of the heathen. But what they say, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. See? Sad, but it's real. This is what we did. This is what we did. So listen, verse 13. So then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. That's why you're looking at, by the time the Romans in power, why you see Jews to the Greeks and so forth, because we were, well, I'm going to get into it as we go along. So they asked the king to get a license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Most of them said, learn not the way of the heathen. They want to do just like the heathen. Wherefore they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. See, we didn't have those customs like it is now. These gyms and so, we didn't have all that. They made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant, the holy laws of the Most High, and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. Hear that? So when you join into these heathen, you're going to be sold to do mischief. Sad, boy. That's why you go to Malachi, first chapter, last prophet of the Old Testament, Malachi 1:1. The burden of the word of the Lord of the Most High to Israel by Malachi. So I have loved you, said the Most High. Yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? So we just read about the first kingdom of the Edomites, the Greeks, they're the Edomites. Said the Most High, yet I love Jacob. He said, I love Jacob and I hated Esau and laid his mountains. Now, you know, they come from the Caucasus Mountains. That's why they call themselves Caucasians. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Listen, whereas Edom said, I mean, that's when they were running to the Caucasus Mountains, approximately 193 AD. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished. They was in the Caucasus Mountains. But we will return and build the desolate places. Like they building all over. But this, thus said the Most High, power of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. Most I say, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them, listen, the border of wickedness. Hear that? They're going to call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High hath indignation forever. Forever. That's why when you read in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, I happen to have it. Son of a while. The Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary concerning Edom. It says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. Okay? That's from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. So, Most High called them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High have indignation forever. Forever. Job 9:24. So you see, our people went from the Persian Media Empire in captivity to the Greek Empire in captivity. And looking how they were, say, they went to the king, gave him a license to be like the heathen. They gave him a license to be like the heathen. Just a moment.